So we're gonna do an everyday carry update. I haven't done one of these videos in quite a long time. Those of you guys that watched the previous everyday carry update, I talked about how I was kind of looking for a different gun to carry, and I had a couple of different options. Talk about which one I actually chose, why I chose it, and we're gonna talk about some future guns that we're gonna be testing that could possibly make their way into the everyday carry rotation. Also, if you're new to the channel and you see anything in today's video that you'd like to pick up for yourself or check the price on, follow the first link in the description or the first link that's pinned in the comments. And I'll have all the links for everything we're talking about, as well as promo codes. So the first thing we're gonna talk about today is something I've never talked about ever in an everyday carry update video, and that's gonna be my jeans. I'm the kind of person, when I buy jeans, I try to buy jeans that are gonna last me a couple of years. I don't like buying clothes often. I'd rather just buy something that's gonna last for a while, wear it out until it's not any good, then buy new clothes. So last October, I needed some new jeans, and I have a predicament. I don't like skinny jeans. And so I decided to go to my local mall to look for some jeans. I went everywhere from JCPenney, Dillard's, Lucky Brand jeans, all these different stores. And the problem that I was having was I couldn't find bootcut jeans. Those jeans just seemed to fit me the best. I don't like skinny jeans. I don't like tapered leg jeans. I don't like wide leg jeans. I like boot cut. I was about to give up for the day because I really don't like shopping for clothes. So I went to the Buckle. I don't know if you know what the Buckle is. I haven't been in those stores in like over a decade, but I just went in there and they said, hey, we actually have some boot cut jeans. And they led me to this company called Howitzer clothing. The jeans actually fit really good. I went to the fitting room to make sure they fit, so I didn't have to make any returns. I got home, started doing some little Googling on Howitzer. I wanted to learn some more about Howitzer clothing because on the coin pocket that's on the right side, it says "We the People." And I'm like, okay, they seem to be freedom-loving people. Let's see what all's involved with them. So looked up their website, found out that they donate a portion of all their sales to various patriot organizations in America, policemen, first responders, firemen, EMTs, veterans, soldiers. They donate a ton to those kind of guys. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And so I actually reached out to Howitzer, talked to him a little bit more, and they said, hey, thank you for the post about our jeans. And they did send me a few more pair because I could only find like 2 pair in my size at the Buckle, but they didn't have to send me any. I was gonna buy them anyway, but they did. And they did not sponsor this spot. I do have an affiliate thing with them, but they don't sponsor me. They don't tell me what to say. My opinions are my own. But here was another cool thing about them. So the jeans are stretchy, which is a good thing because when you carry, especially the way that we're gonna talk about here in a little bit, you kind of need some jeans that have a little bit of a flex to them. The other cool thing about them is on not all of them, but on some of them, they actually have a place where you can fit an AR-15 magazine near your left rear pocket, but it's not in the left rear pocket, it's its own pocket. I think 511 has some clothes that do that as well. It's pretty cool to see it in actual jeans instead of tactical pants. But with that said, they got all kinds of cool t-shirts and stuff if you guys want to check them out. And I also have a 10% off promo code for them if you want to order some for yourself. Now, before you use that code and before you go order, there's a couple of things you need to know about them before you make a purchase. Number one, you can buy them at the Buckle and you can get them in your exact size, whether it's waist and length. If you order them from their website, they only come in one length and you have to get them hemmed to fit. Now there's kind of some pros and cons to this as well. It kind of threw me off at first. Basically, because they're made in America, they're an American-based company and they're doing all this donations, jeans are not cheap to make. This is what they told me. And so they're trying to save on cost so they don't have to increase the price of the blue jeans. When the Buckle buys them, and then Buckle themselves will rehem them. So if you want a specific length and you don't want to worry about rehemming them, you need to go to your local Buckle. But the downside to that is Buckle has a different type of return policy than Howitzer does, meaning it's easier to return things to Howitzer than it is to Buckle. So if you buy it at Buckle, you can't call up the guys at Howitzer and return them there because Buckle has its own thing. I know it sounds complicated, but it's really not. But I'll just say this, I've been wearing their jeans since October. I actually went to a training. I did John Lovell's class a couple of weeks ago with Pistol 1 and Pistol 2 for the Warrior Poet Society, and I used that magazine pocket like crazy. I could fit like 3 or 4 different Glock mags in there. So when we were out on the range, not only did I have my appendix rig that has the spare magazine, I also kept another 3 or 4 magazines in that pocket. And that really made my range day a lot nicer because I didn't have to go back and forth loading mags as much as the other people that were in the class. That's all I'm gonna say about Howitzer. I've been wearing them since October. They've held up like a champ. I'm gonna keep wearing them because they seem to be the only people really left that make boot cut jeans that I actually like. They have a couple of different fits. They got the Freedom and they got the Patriot. The Patriot's a little bit more snug, and the Freedom's a little bit more relaxed, but they're still all boot cut and stretchy. Next up, let's talk about these watches right here. I originally incorporated these watches in my last EDC video, and this is kind of how they've held up over the past few months. So I kind of group watches in a few different categories. I kind of have beater watches, and then I kind of have my nicer watches. But I don't really buy watches that are so expensive that I'm afraid to wear them, which we'll talk more about in a minute. This one is the G-Shock GA2100. It's basically their low profile G-Shock, and I integrated this into the last EDC update video, and so far it's holding up like a champ. This is the watch that I wear to the gun range. This is the one that I don't mind if I accidentally knock it around and scratch it up or anything, but I'll be honest, like I've knocked the crap out of this. I've knocked the face into the corner of my truck before, and it's holding up really well. I got this one, I think, for about 80 something dollars, but you know, it just depends on where you get them. On the pricing. They have a ton of different colors, but I chose to get the Stealth Black. A lot of people modify these watches and doing something what they call the Casio. I'm not really worried about doing that. One thing you should be mindful of is there's a lot of counterfeits of these watches going around. So you want to make sure that you're getting it from an authorized dealer. I'll make sure to have some links over at the parts list. That way, if you guys want to check these out, pick some up for yourself, you can do that. But putting it on the wrist here, it actually fits really nice. And like I mentioned, it's really low profile and thin. I'm a fan of bigger watch dials, but when I gotta bang it around and be rough with it, it doesn't need to be that big unless it's bulletproof. Now in regards to, I guess what you could say, nicer watches, I don't really go above $300, $350 for what I would consider a nice watch. I'll cover more on that in a minute, because inevitably you're gonna bang them around. That's just how it works. So, I typically stick with Seiko watches for my nicer watches. I like dive watches that have the automatic movement. I just find them more interesting. So I have a couple of Seikos right here. These are actually the same model, but they're different colors and they have different bands on them. And sometimes I will get something like this Orient here and then buy NATO straps to put on it because they're easier. But the most recent addition was this guy right here. This is the Seiko 5KX. It's the SRPD 79. I'll be sure to include a link to it. But this replaced the old Seiko SKX models that were like the old school divers. But it's really nice because it comes with the NATO strap. It's already PVD coated. You can see the mechanical movement underneath it. And with these kinds of watches, if you're not familiar with them, there's no winding them. You just shake them or your natural wrist movement, and it's going to, keep the watch wound up. They have about a 40-hour reserve. So if you don't wear the watch for more than 40 hours, the watch is gonna stop. You're gonna have to reset it, shake it, put it back on your wrist. But this one actually came with a Seiko branded NATO strap, and I really dig this. It fits really nicely on the wrist. It's a little bit smaller than my other Seikos, but strangely, I find it to be nice. I like how thick the casing is, and I love the PVD coating that's on it. So nothing but great things to report on this guy as of right now. There's a part of me that really wants to buy an expensive watch, maybe something like an Omega or even a Rolex, but I just be honest with you, it's really hard for me to do that. I would probably buy them and throw them in a safe just so they would collect value over time. But these two, the Seiko and the new Casio, holding up like a champ, so therefore I have nothing bad to say about them. They work great. One product that I don't have, actually gonna have to order another one, is if you guys remember in the last EDC update, I talked about how I wear those silicone wedding bands. I don't wear a normal wedding band anymore because it was causing calluses. However, I have lost mine since the last video. I don't know where it is. I'm sure I'll find it when I order another one, but they're only like $20, $25. And the best benefit of them is when you're actually shooting and you got your support hand ring right here, your ring's not digging into your knuckles. So it's one of those wedding rings you can wear all the time. You can work on cars in them. You can go shoot guns in them. You don't got to worry about beating it up. And if you do, you're only out like $20, $25. And honestly, I'll never wear another ring again. I really don't wear a ring very often, but when I do, that's the one I wear. They don't sponsor me or anything. I paid full price for it, but it's totally worth it. Next up is knives. A few of these knives have carried over from the last EDC update, and a couple of them are brand new for today. I kind of group my knives by the type of use that I'm gonna put them through. This is my beater throwaway knife. This is the knife that I take to places like airports when I check my luggage. That way, if it gets lost, I'm only out about $20. This is the Kershaw Cryo, I believe. And I have about 2 or 3 of these knives. My wife keeps stealing them, so I keep ordering new ones. They have different blade styles. This one's in Tonto. They also have them in drop point if that's something that you're into, but they hold an edge really well. I sharpen them up, and dude, these little knives for the price are really nice. Color, I forget the name of the wash, but I'll include links over at the parts list to the exact one because I can't remember the name of it. But it's an assisted opening knife. The blade length is definitely under 3 inches. So, you know, that's always good if you live in a state that has a lot of problems with different lengths of blades, especially in some states. Some states can be crazy about it, but awesome little knife. The next knife that I have up is kind of an in-between a beater and a more expensive knife, and that is the Spyderco Tenacious. This is new. I just got it about a month and a half ago. I actually didn't even try to purchase this knife. True Shot Gun Club, if you guys aren't aware, that's where I've been buying most of my ammo since May of 2021. They had a deal where if you bought like 5.56 ammo, they just included one of these for free. They have other knives and stuff and other bundles like that, and I'll make sure to include a link over at the parts list so you can check those guys out. And it didn't cost any extra. And what I mean by that is the ammo was the same price whether I got a knife with it or if I didn't get a knife with it. So I said, screw it, I'll get one of these. In all honesty though, between these two knives, I believe they have the same type of blade steel. It's the 8CR 13 MOV blade steel. It's not the best blade steel, obviously. However, it is a very easy to sharpen blade steel. Although they kind of get dull, you know, fairly quickly, they sharpen up really easily, and it only takes me about 5 minutes and they can be resharpened. This one, you can choose to carry it with the tip up or the tip down. I choose tip up, and it has ambidextrous points on all sides. So it's been an interesting knife. It did take a little bit to get it broken in. I had to adjust this screw right here because it was quite tight when I first got it, but I put some oil on it, loosened it up. I usually have the Yojimbo. That's typically my favorite one, but this one isn't bad. I would classify this one as a little bit more of an expensive version of this, but if I lose it, I'm not out more than 50, 60 bucks. That's a good thing. Now, this knife came from the last EDC update. This is the Kershaw Launch 13. This is the American-made Kershaws. And this one has a pretty nice blade steel. This one is the push button open, so make sure you check your local and state laws. But I'll have some links to this over at the parts list as well. And this is their automatic knife, has a beautiful flat blade on it. I love these flat blades. I don't know why, but I do. And this has the CPM 154 blade steel, which is a really good blade steel. Definitely an awesome little knife. I have definitely dulled it, resharpened it, dulled it, and resharpened it probably about 2 or 3 times. I almost got a mirror polish on the blade there. I'll show you how I did that here in a second real quick. Great knife. I think I paid $113 for it. So this would be something if I was going somewhere like a state fair where they had like metal detectors and they wanted to take your knife from you. I've had that happen before. They didn't get my knife, but I had to take it back to the truck. But this is one of those knives, I wouldn't really want to travel with it and lose it because, you know, once you get above the $100 mark, it hurts a little more to lose it. You can choose whichever side for this pocket clip. The pocket clip is a deep carry clip, so it does fit nice and deep into your pocket, and it's nice and short as well as black. I like black clips the best because they hide against my pants the best. Now, one of the newer knives, the folding karambit. Back when I first started YouTube in 2016, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the Fox 599 Dart was a really popular knife. And it's a folding karambit that goes into your pocket. And I forgot the guy's name that invented it. But essentially, this is a folding karambit that you carry in your pocket, and it has the Emerson wave feature right here. And the point of this is when you pull it out of your pocket, this wave catches on your pants and deploys the knife. What made the Fox 599 so different was it was a Tonto blade, and most of your karambits are gonna have that curved hooked blade. But I kind of like the Tonto blade because, you know, I can use them for everyday carry type scenarios. So I was actually looking up Fox 599 karambits. I was gonna order one, and this guy popped up. This is actually available from the Warrior Poets Society. It is a Fox knife. It's made in Italy. It says Fox Knives, made in Italy. So it's still the same people that make the 599 Dart and things like that. These, I believe, are about $120, $130. And they come in a couple of different colors. This one has the red liner, but you can also get it with a black liner as well. I don't know if this is the steel on it, the N690CO. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. It's a steel I've never heard of. N690CO. You got some jimping along the back here. For here, you got all the little finger grooves here. You can put your pinky through there if you like, and it fits really good in the hand. I actually found this knife to be really good for everyday tasks like opening boxes, cutting open zip ties, things of that nature. So definitely wanted to try this out, and I will put a link over at the parts list where you can pick these up. It would probably be the best place to get them because when I was gonna order a standard Fox knife, it was kind of iffy if like the place had them in stock, but on the WPS website, they're in stock, so that's always a good thing. Now, I do want to make one thing clear. I don't know how to fight with the knife. I might try to learn in the future, but if you are interested in learning how to fight with a knife, you don't want to practice with the actual one. You want to get the trainers. And I do believe, I'm not sure, I have to go look at the website. I do believe John offers a trainer over on their website, but nonetheless, this is just a knife that I've wanted for a very long time. And I tend to use this for standard everyday carry tasks. Pocket clip can be put on either side, and depending on which side you put it on will determine which way that claw will. So if you put it where the claw is facing rearward, when you put it in your pocket, you're gonna need to pull it backwards like this. I don't like that because someone could be behind me. So I have it where it faces the front. You simply grab this ring right here and you pull up and kind of twist it out, and it just deploys super fast. I love it to death. Now, I'm not gonna cover this in a ton of detail today, but I did wanna talk to you guys about it because I did mention this in the last video, but I know there's a lot of new people here today. So this is a really affordable knife sharpener that allows you to choose your blade angle. Basically, your knife will clamp into place like this, and then this thing right here, you can adjust the angle of your blade. And then on here, you have 3 different sides. So right here, you got a 320 grit, 600 grit, and then we have the ceramic stone. And you can also put like pieces of really fine sandpaper on here, glue them on with some temporary glue. And that's how I sharpen my knives. And that's why this knife it's kind of dirty, but it has a mirror-like polish on the edge. I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's just really filthy from cutting tape and stuff. I wanted to bring that up because I was looking at different sharpening systems, and there's stuff like Wicked Edge and all that, and I'm sure those are fantastic. My problem that I had was I have a hard time holding the angle right, and I wanted something that was idiot proof, and it was like 50 bucks. So I wanted to bring that up real fast. Next up, we're gonna be talking about the wallet. My wallet is the same wallet that I've had for probably the past 3 or 4 different EDC updates. Popov leather bifold wallet. I don't like front pocket wallets. I got enough stuff in my front pockets, so I prefer these. I've had this now for probably 2.5 or 3 years, and still smells new, and it's still functioning great. It's just your basic bifold, hold credit cards. Doesn't bother me. Some people can't get down with these. They also have front pocket wallets for those guys who like front pocket wallets, but works great. I don't have an affiliate for them. They don't give me any kickbacks if you buy their stuff, but I'll have a link over at the parts list just in case you want to check those guys out as well. For my sunglasses, I'm still using these from Core Essentials, and they have the magnets in them like that. And they can clip onto your shirt and they won't fall off. Also, the magnetic field only goes outside. So as an example, let me find something that's metal. So you can see there's a magnet here, but nothing's sticking. But if I come over here, it sticks. So it directs all the magnetic field away from your skull, which is probably healthy. And then back here in the rear, there's metal inside here. So when they close, they stop. And then there's a strap that comes with these that you put around your mirror in your car, and you literally just pop them up and touch it, and it sticks. I've had them in my truck going off-road, bouncing around, and the magnets are strong and don't fall. Whenever I get sunglasses, I try to get something that's ballistics rated. So, when I go shooting in the desert, I don't gotta worry about bringing iPro. I just use these guys. So these are ballistics rated. My Magpul ones that I have, that I showed in the last video, are ballistics rated. And then I have a new set that are coming in that'll be in the next EDC update that are from a totally new company that I've never heard of, but we're gonna try them out. And they're also ballistics rated. So right now, these are my go-tos. They're not the cheapest, they're not the most expensive, but they hold up really well. Then we have the phone situation. So in the last EDC update, that was my first time using the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I really like this phone because I do a lot of photos and videos. So I really love the camera that's on here. It has zoom, all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, I've been using Samsung phones for a long time. I like them better than Apple. But I remember talking about this new app that I was using, and they didn't sponsor today's video, but I will have a link for you guys to use it if you want to. It's been a really good app for me. It's called Get Upside, and basically, you know how gas prices are stupid. You can actually see right here, you can get 50 cents off per gallon, and it's a free app. And basically, you open up this app, and then it tells you what gas stations are in the area and how much cash back you can get. You can see right up here, I got $118.65, and I can either choose to transfer that to my bank account, or you can pick up all these different gift cards. I have not picked up a gift card yet. I usually just transfer it straight to my bank account. Pretty awesome little app. And let me just show you real fast. I downloaded this app for the first time right before my last EDC update back in October. And back in October is when I bought the Ram TRX, which if you know anything about it, it gets about 11 to 12 miles per gallon. So far, I have transferred, I'm gonna make sure you guys can see this, $4,126.33 to my bank account. I essentially have not paid for gas on the Ram TRX since I bought it. Now, part of that is because it's kind of like an affiliate thing, but anybody can get it. They didn't do it for me because I'm special or anything. I'm part of a bunch of different Facebook groups for like my Civic Type R and for the Ram TRX. So I just shared this app over there. And when people download it, they'll give me like an additional 15 cents off per gallon. And so far, $4,126.33 in the past 4 months. And I can tell you, I have not spent that much money in gas. It's a legit app. It's free, you don't gotta pay anything. I'll be sure to put a link in the description and over at the parts list for this app. And I think they gave me a promo code. So that'll get you like an additional 15 cents off per gallon on your first fill up. So totally recommend it. Share it with your friends and family, and you make even more money off of it. So flashlights, I'm not gonna make it too complicated. I've been trying recently to test a lot more flashlights than just Olight. I just tend to have a grip of them because they kept sending them to me. And as you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not gonna tell you to go buy an Olight. I mean, I understand they kind of got a bad rap. You don't wanna put them in your mouth, touch your tongue to them, or you could blow your head off apparently, which I've never done, but I will say this. These little S1R batons, because they can clip onto the hat, you know, like this really saved my butt one time. I had a tire blowout in the middle of the desert on a moonless night coming back from Vegas. I had 2 of these lights in my car. And so I don't usually carry flashlights on my person. I carry them in the car. One of the main reasons I don't is because I have my cell phone. I wanna try other lights out moving forward. The downside is there's very few companies that actually have lights that have all the features that Olights have, you know, like the reversible clips, the magnetic tail caps. You could stick these on the underside of your hood of your car or in your wheel well. They're also, you know, 1,000 lumens and rechargeable. And so, you know, it's really hard to find a comparable flashlight that it doesn't come from China, unfortunately. I'm gonna keep looking, but one flashlight that I've been testing lately is this guy. It's called the Streamlight Wedge. Now, when you're first looking at this light, it looks a lot like a Microtech. In fact, I have a Microtech right here. You can see like the ridges and the jimping and all that stuff. Looks very similar, even like the types of screws that we have in here, but you can see it's a lot more massive than a Microtech. This is a Microtech Ultratech Spartan in bronze and PVD that I have. Had it for a few years, works great, love it to death. I was hoping that the flashlight was gonna be a little bit closer to this size. One of the reasons why I wanted to try this light was because it's flat and they fit in your pocket a little easier than something that's round. So for these, I typically keep them in the car, but I was trying to find something I could carry on my person, but you know, unfortunately, it doesn't have the reversible clip that I can clip onto my hat. It is rechargeable, and it is USB-C rechargeable, which is great because that's what my phone uses. So the switch right here, it works like this. You push it up here, and I think you get about 500 lumens, and then you press forwards more and you get about 1,000. The problem is you have to hold this forward to get the full 1,000. The other thing is, although this thing fits in the pocket quite well, because of its slim, flat design, it's just so large that I don't want to carry it in my pocket. Pretty cool little light. I think I paid about $90 for it. It's not a bad light. It really isn't. And I think part of my problem is I'm trying to get all the features that I got out of this into this. And obviously this is a completely different light. So I'm gonna ask you guys, now, these are the lights I've been using. You know, I have these in all my cars. and I'm trying to find something. I want to try some new lights. Let me know down in the comments, guys, what flashlights do you guys want to see on this channel? What flashlights have all the features of the Olight, but aren't Olight? Maybe they're American made. I would love to hear that down below because I'm not the biggest flashlight geek when it comes to this stuff. So if you guys could help me out with that, let me know what flashlights you guys want to see in the future, and I'll be sure to put them in the next EDC update. But that's what I'm using right now. Now let's talk about keys for a second. You know, for my keys, I still have the same key setup as last time. We're using the key bar that's black, got the flash drive and a couple of keys on there. And then I got these little quick detach things that I picked up off of Amazon. I'll make sure to include a link to them because I drive 2 different cars and I'm tired of like unhooking and hooking the new key to it. So I can pop it off super easy and just click it right back on. Also, I am still using these Faraday pouches. I brought this up in the last video, but I bought a Faraday box that I have in, somewhere else in the house. And then I picked up these pouches. And the reason I did is, both of these cars have where you can walk up to the car and touch the handle and unlock it. And one of them has remote start. And if you guys aren't aware, if you park in your driveway or anywhere that's not really not in a garage, even if you do park in a garage, people can buy repeater boxes off of eBay. These things put out a huge signal that goes really far. And they can literally hijack the signal from these inside your house and drive away with your car. And then while they're driving, they can reprogram a new key. So that's the downside to all these cars that have push button starts on them. But these are Faraday pouches and I have tested these thoroughly. Put these in here. You can be right beside your car. You can press the buttons. You can try to open the handle. Nothing works. And then I have a Faraday box that I believe that I got the box in a pouch for like 25 bucks or something like that. And the box is like a catch-all for all the spare keys. That way, nobody can do those. Whenever I'm not using my keys, they're in pouches, and these are amazing. Let's finally get to the holster, the belt, and the gun that I chose for EDC. Now, I talked about this belt a couple of videos ago when I was talking about holsters. This is the EDC belt from Next Belt, and this one is designed specifically for appendix carry. This is something new, come to my attention since the last video. Previously, I was using, mainly Core Essential belts and Blue Alpha Gear, and I still use those belts, don't get me wrong. But this one has just been the most simple belt to come by. The thing is, this is super narrow. Now, I did see that Core Essentials does make one now that's super narrow like this, but I like the style of this buckle better. It's more flat. The only thing that's on here is like an N. It looks like a U probably because I got the belt upside down, but it just has a little N for Next Belt. It's black. They also make these in flat dark earth. And this is quickly rose to my #1 spot for EDC belts of all time. And I love Blue Alpha Gear. I love Core Essentials, but this thing, I like the switch on it so much better than I like Core Essentials. And this is now my all-time favorite. As you can see, it's had a little bit of use and abuse, from holster wear and stuff like that. It's holding up really good. Someone told me I should try the Groove Life belts. A buddy of mine got a Groove Life belt. I can't do it, man. I gotta have something stiff and rigid to hold my holsters up. Favorite belt of the past 6 years that I've ever tried. Speaking of holsters, let's talk about that for a second. Holsters, no different. I actually have a couple of them here. Don't worry, this gun's clear. I've been running Tier 1 holsters since mid-2018. This one's kind of been my main squeeze because it fits the majority of my guns. I had this one set up so that it fits the Enforce APL-C light, as well as an area so if I choose to carry a comped gun, the compensator will fit through there. Or if I choose to carry like a full-size gun, it'll come all the way through. This is the Axis Slim. And then over here, this is a newer holster that I just got for a new EDC gun that we're gonna be talking about in the future, but it's essentially the same thing, just a little bit of a different style. The main benefit to the Axis Elite versus the Axis Slim, your concealment wedge that pushes against your belt, pushes the grip closer into your body. You can actually take layers off of it now, and you can adjust it to be perfect for you. The other thing that's different is you now have a modified version of a concealment wing, but on the mag carrier. So on this one, you get a basic wing that is non-adjustable, and then you get nothing over here. The other thing that I put on these is the Tier 1 concealed wedge. They come in a bunch of different sizes. I'll make sure to have links to these over at the build list. This one I've been running for a little over maybe 2 years now. I think since 2020 I had this on here. You can see it's getting, demolished and squished, but it's broken in for my body. And what that does is these things sit on top of like your pubic bone, for example, so that the holster doesn't make you uncomfortable. It also helps push the muzzle of the gun away from you and push the grip of the gun tighter into your body. I'm not gonna tell you that Tier 1 concealed is the best. One of the reasons why I like Tier 1 concealed is, for a long time, I would review small holster companies, and I loved reviewing for them. But after the channel hit 100,000 subscribers, if I made a video about them, they would get so many orders that the viewers would get mad because the company couldn't keep up with the orders. It's one of those downsides in business, like sometimes growing too fast is not good for your business. With Tier 1, they gave me their word when I first got with them that they could keep up no matter what. The longest lead times they ever had, I think, were in the middle of the pandemic, and I don't even think the lead times got that high. I don't know exactly, but they seem like really good people. I've met a couple of the guys over there. So I'm not gonna tell you they're the best. I'm just gonna tell you, I like them. You get what you pay for. You buy once, cry once. So as I mentioned earlier, in the previous EDC update video, I talked about how I was kind of looking at a couple of different guns that I was considering, to carry for everyday carry. The first one being the AREX Delta M. On here currently, I got the Holosun 507K. I got the TLR7 sub on here, and I'll tell you why here in a second. And I also got the AREX extended mag release that I'm gonna take off because it doesn't work for me, which we'll talk about in a second. But this was one of the options. And one of the reasons why I liked it was it's a thinner profile than a Glock 19, but it's also the same size as a Glock 19. However, there was a couple of things that are bugging me about it, which is the reason why I didn't choose this one. So with the AREX Delta M, I really, really enjoy this gun. It's a lot of fun to shoot. But one of the problems that I have with this, and one of the reasons why I don't want to carry it, is I have a really difficult time shooting a cadence with this gun. What I mean by that, if you're new to this, a cadence is where I can run off anywhere from 3 to 6 rounds, kind of like a drum beat. Like if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to be able to shoot on the beat every single time, kind of like a metronome. This one, I can't do it. And I've polished this trigger. I've tried making this trigger work for me. Not that that's the most important thing when it comes to concealed carry. In my experience, I just prefer that. Now, this is a fantastic gun. You can get these now for $349 sometimes when they're on sale. I'll make sure to have links for them over at the parts list. The modular optics, the trigger's not bad. It's just hard to manipulate and make your own. It's a great gun. I would highly recommend this to a lot of people. But that's the reason I didn't choose it for my new carry gun, is I can't get a consistent cadence with it. The next option that I was considering for an EDC gun was the new Walther PDP. Now this one has a couple of different upgrades on it with the trigger and the red dot, but aside from that, everything is stock. But the problem with this one is, well, let me show you. On my Walther PDP, this gun is confusing to me. Now, I got a buddy, you probably know him, Mike from Tactical Considerations. He has one of these and he can shoot the living crap out of this gun. I think he's better with this gun than he is most other guns. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna need a stipple job on it. This grip is very deceptive in the way that it looks. So it feels like it's really grippy, like you feel it in the store. The problem is this front strap here is super slippery right here, as well as right here. And I can't hang on to it to save my life because my hand keeps sliding. This gun needs a texture job on it, really bad. I know a lot of you guys in the comments like to say that I'm super picky. Well, I'm very grateful to be able to be exposed to a bunch of different guns. And, you know, over time, when you get exposed to a bunch of different things, you start learning what you like and don't like. And yeah, you get a more refined palette, so to speak. I'm gonna get a stipple job on this, and then I'm gonna reassess it to see how I feel, because I want to like it more than I do. Aside from the grip texture, everything else on this gun is almost perfect for everyday carry. Even though it's the full size, it feels amazing. Just gotta get that texture taken care of. So the previous gun that I was carrying before the one that I chose today is my Glock 19X that was completely customized. I had it done by Rocket City Stippling, Boogeyman Customs, Zafari Precision, flush crown barrel, Enforce APLC, Trijicon RMR, and an Apex trigger in it. And this is a great gun. But one of the reasons why I wanted to stop carrying this and start carrying the next one was when I took the class with the Warrior Poet Society. If you've watched my channel from any time, you can see in the way that I shoot that I've never had proper training. And during that class, when we were drawing, presenting, and prepping the trigger, and then doing the fast trigger reset that they teach at that course, where you don't hold your trigger finger to the rear, you reset the trigger, you know, during recoil. I'll link to John's video. He has a video explaining it. But I found with this one that I had a really hard time shooting fast, doing the fast trigger reset method. I figured since I was taking the Warrior Poet class that I would bring the Warrior Poet pistol. So I took that, I had it in the range bag with me at the Warrior Poet class, and I was kind of having some stuttering issues with this trigger. Nothing wrong with it, just I was stuttering with it. So halfway through day one, I just decided to pull this guy out and run it for the rest of the class. And I was gonna judge which gun worked the best for me, and then I would just use that for day two. And so I just pulled John's gun out. This is the Warrior Poet MR920. When we were running our drills, especially when we were doing multiple target transitions, this one had the perfect trigger for the style shooting that we were doing. I was able to get the trigger prepped really nicely and hold the wall. Whereas on the other one, I would have some stutters where I would prep the trigger and I would pull the shot, not meaning to. This trigger isn't heavier than the Apex, it's just different. And Apex, for the most part, has always had what I consider to be a rolling break. However, this gun has more of a hard stop break. But if I'm not careful, I will pull through. And this is simply just a minus connector with the Apex trigger shoe. Nothing else is changed in this gun. But with this one, I can simply hold the wall, break right through, do my reset, and be re-prepped without breaking my shot. I also found when I was drawing from concealment, doing this and pressing out, it was much easier for me to get a proper grip with this one than it was the 19X. Nothing wrong with the gun, it's just I was naturally more better at it. And so, you know, I try to take the path of least resistance with my gear. You know, I go with what works best for me. I'm not saying that this is what would work best for you, but with this one, I grab it and then reach out, and I'd be ready every single time with the perfect grip. So as of right now, this is gonna be my new EDC gun for the next 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer. You know, usually when I do these EDC update videos, I will carry the gun as long as it takes me to find another gun that's worth carrying. When it came to this one, we carried it for nearly 2 years. I just wasn't able to find one that would really work for me 100%, and this one did the trick. And this one still does work for me very well. I can practice with this even more, get good with the trigger reset and holding the wall. But my theory is to take the path of least resistance, and as of right now, this one works the best for me. And no, John didn't pay me to say this stuff, nor do I get any kickbacks from his knives or anything like that. This is just my own opinion. So you can take that as you will. If you don't want to believe me, totally cool. Now, moving forward, a couple of other guns that we're going to be testing, you know, for like EDC stuff. Number one is going to be the Glock 43X. Now this one, I kind of have it completely modified. We got the TLR7 sub on here, Holosun 407K. We got the Apex trigger. We have the Ghost Edge connector, which is a must for the 43X. Then I have the Shield Arms Magwell, Shield Arms Mag Release, Shield Arms 15 round magazines, as well as one of their 15 round mags with the +5 mag extension, giving me a total of 20 + 1 rounds when it's like this. Now, I don't have a holster for this yet, and I'm not done with this gun yet. I made a video that covered this gun in a lot more detail, so I will make sure to link that down below if you want to watch it later. But right now, I still need to get a texture job done on here. The texturing that comes with the Glock 43Xs is horrendous, and it's incredibly slippery. However, so far, I'm doing pretty good with this gun considering that it's a single stack and I'm not usually good with them. So that's one gun we're gonna be testing that could show up in the next EDC update video. The second one is gonna be this guy. Just picked this one up. This is the Zev OC9 Compact. I actually got it as the compact model. It's a modular frame similar to the P320, and I bought the X style grip, which is basically the Glock 17 grip and the Glock 19 grip. We're gonna make a complete video about this in the future. Now, I've had a lot of bad luck with Zev products in the past. I've had bad luck with 2 slides and 2 triggers. I've had good luck with 1 trigger and basically 4 mag wells. So I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. I don't have anything against Zev personally. I've just had nothing but bad luck with their products. So I'm really gonna have to test this one thoroughly, but if it does pass those tests, this could show up in a future EDC update video. This will fit your standard Glock 19 holsters, and right now I'm running it in this guy. If you guys remember in the last EDC update video, I talked about this holster, but this holster looked different. This is the MSP holster from Tier 1 Concealed. I'll have a link at the build list if you want to check it out. This was made for the Modern Samurai Project training course, and originally it was designed without this mag carrier here. It had a separate mag carrier, and that was one of the cons that I didn't like about it. So the guys at Tier 1 decided, let's make one that has the mag carrier attached. And this holster is designed to fit any handgun that has the Surefire X300 on it. And it does. I have not found a gun that I own that I can put an X300 on and it doesn't fit. Like, they all fit. Everything from 2011s, 1911s, Sig Sauers, you name it, they all fit. The one problem that I do have with this holster is it sticks out quite a bit. You can see here from the side, it actually sticks out quite a bit more than my other holsters that I have. But at least I have a universal appendix rig now. It completely disappears, as you can see. Sit down, no problems, and you can draw and present. Just to show you as in a comparison, this is their standard, I believe this is the Axis Elite holster. So you remember how much that other one stuck out? And then look at this one. This one doesn't really stick out at all. This one's much flatter against your body. This one does kind of make you look a little pregnant. But the good thing about this is I use this as a testing mule for handguns. So if I get a handgun and I'm like, I kind of would like to carry this gun, I can slap an X300 on it, try it out with this holster first. If it's somewhat comfortable and I like it, then I can order a dedicated holster for it. It's a way of saving money for me. I don't know if other people use it that way. Or if I bought a new gun and I know I want to order a holster for it in the future, I can just slap the X300 on it, put it on here, and I have something to carry it while I wait for my other holster to arrive. If you already bought this holster where it didn't have this piece attached to it, you can buy these pieces separately and then attach it yourself once it comes in. So pretty cool stuff. Now, if you are interested in learning more about appendix rigs, I totally think you should watch this video right here where I go into a ton of detail on how to make appendix holsters comfortable for almost any body type. Almost, but I go over all that in this video, and it shows that if you've ever had a bad experience with appendix rigs, it could have been the way that the holster was adjusted, not the holster itself. So I highly recommend that video. If you liked today's video, hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit the dislike button twice. But until next time, guys, I love you. You guys stay sexy.